The rain was falling gently, a gray morning. In one of New Orleans' forgotten neighborhoods, a man was kneeling beside the stone wall of an old church, shaking. His head was buried in his hands, and the water dripping from his soaked hair mixed with silent tears. In his hand, a crumpled piece of paper, water-stained and barely legible, but he knew every word by heart. "You promised to stay clean. I don't want to lose you." His name was Marcus, 30 years old, once a top honors student in computer science, but intelligence hadn't saved him. Bad friends, fast drugs, easy money, and the only promise his mother ever asked him to keep had been broken again and again. She passed away from cancer before he could say goodbye. That note was all he had left of her. Just next door, a new women's shelter was under construction. Amid the clanging metal and the buzz of machines, a black SUV pulled up. The door opened. Oprah Winfrey stepped out, not in a spotlight but in silence. She simply observed, and in a sea of movement she noticed the stillness of Marcus. Wet, exhausted, and on the verge of collapsing, Marcus barely registered her footsteps. "Hi," she said softly. "Do you want help?" Marcus lifted his head slowly. In his eyes were thousands of broken pieces. He didn't speak. He just nodded. And in that moment, for the first time in his life, someone wasn't looking at his fall. They were looking at his chance to rise. Oprah had Marcus brought to the shelter. A hot shower, clean clothes, a bowl of soup. Marcus sat quietly by the window, talking to no one. But for the first time, he didn't feel like the world outside the window was out to hurt him. That night, the security system malfunctioned. One of the employees grunted, staring at the blank monitor. Marcus quietly stood up, looked at the cables, pressed a few buttons on the control panel, and suddenly the system rebooted. No one understood how it happened. How did you do that?" the woman asked. "I studied computer science. Once upon a time," Marcus replied. Stunned, the woman ran to tell Oprah. In the morning, Oprah called Marcus to the gazebo in the garden. She was holding the security camera footage. "How can someone so fallen still think in solutions?" Marcus bowed his head. His voice was quiet but clear. "Because my mom always said, good people find the right wires even in the dark. I only connected one wire." Oprah smiled. "Life is like wires. If you can fix what's broken, you get another chance." And so Marcus became the shelter's technical advisor. He updated the cameras, reconnected the systems, protected the women's data, but he kept putting that crumpled note in his pocket every morning, because staying clean was no longer just a promise, it was now a responsibility, and he had to be able to do it for his mother. As the days pass, Marcus quietly becomes a fixed presence in the shelter. He doesn't talk much, and most of the women don't talk to him either. But when the children curiously ask him how the cameras work, he answers patiently. He rebuilds the walls, fixes the faults. Yet peace still eludes him, because the past, especially the part you buried, has a way of knocking on your door when you are least ready. One morning, a new woman arrives. Young but worn, her eyes are black, her lips are chapped. She has obviously lived as an addict for a long time. The name on the intake form catches Marcus's attention. Tasha Evans. For a moment his breath catches. He knows that name. It was her friend who introduced her to drugs years ago, who led her down the path that first broke her mother's trust. Tasha recognizes her too. Their eyes meet and she steps back in shock. "Are you Marcus? Is that really you?" Marcus swallows hard, his voice strained. "I'm not that guy anymore. You had a lot to do with me becoming like this." Tasha instinctively turns to leave, but Oprah gently intervenes. She separates them. She gives them different rooms. But that night, Marcus can't sleep. He opens his mother's letter again and writes a note on the back. "Mom, my past has returned, but this time, I won't run." The next morning, Marcus installs a secondary security alarm in Tasha's room. He says nothing, offers no explanation. He just does it, protecting someone who can't protect herself. And Tasha, for the first time in years, cries because someone saw her, not to judge her, but to understand her. The shelter now breathes like a living heart, steady, warm, and alive with purpose. Marcus has become more than a technician. He's become its silent protector, a figure of calm in a place built for healing. The women don't speak about him much, but among whispered conversations, one nickname surfaces again and again: the Guardian Light. Every morning, Marcus checks the security feeds, walks the perimeter, and ensures that every alarm works like it should. At noon, he teaches a small group of children how to fix wires, use basic software, or protect their phones. Information is power, he tells them. And they listen, not because he's loud, but because he never lies. Evenings are quiet. He walks the halls without a sound, flashlight in hand, making sure the shadows stay on the outside. But the nights belong to Mary. Alone in his small room, Marcus sits by the window and unfolds the worn letter. His fingers trace the smudged ink like it's holy scripture. He doesn't just read, he confesses, asks, remembers, as if somehow through the paper his mother is still listening. Then, one Thursday morning, Oprah calls him into her office. A heavy calm fills the room. On her desk sits a single red envelope embossed with the TEDx logo. "Your story," she says, "can save people, and your mother's words. Those could become a symbol." Marcus looks at the envelope but doesn't reach for it. His voice comes out rough but steady. "Her name was Mary. I told her I'd stay clean, that I'd make her proud. But I lied. I didn't even make it to the hospital before she passed. I don't deserve to read her words in public." Oprah leans forward, not to challenge, but to offer clarity. "That promise isn't broken. You keep it every morning when a woman here sleeps in safety because of you, when a child learns something from you, when you show up." That night, Marcus walks through the city until he finds himself in front of the old church once again. It hasn't changed. The same crumbling bricks, the same silent corner where, months ago, he cried alone. He kneels. This time, with steadier hands, he places the folded letter between two bricks in the wall. Then he adds a second note, written on a torn piece of paper. "I kept my promise this time, Mom, and now I live not just for you, but for everyone." He closes his eyes. The night is quiet, but it is no longer empty. That silence now holds something sacred: redemption, forgiveness, and the beginning of peace. 3 months later, it's opening day at the shelter. From the outside, the building looks simple, but inside, it's full of life. The walls are painted in warm pastel colors. Sunlight streams in through the windows. In the courtyard, children laugh and run. Women sip coffee and quietly share stories. A small stage has been set up. Reporters, donors, and volunteers gather. Oprah is the first to step onto the stage. Her eyes scan the crowd. Her voice is calm but powerful. "This building wasn't built with bricks and cement. It was built with transformation. Every corner was laid with a second chance. And today, I want to invite someone who turned his shadow into light." Applause swells as Marcus steps onto the stage. Gone are the torn clothes. Gone is the shame that once broke him. Now it shields him, forged into strength. In his hand, he carries an old letter, his mother's last note. "If I'm standing here today, it's because of a mother's silent prayer. I didn't hear it when she was alive, but I hear it now, every morning, right here. Someone believed in me, and I will never betray that trust again." The crowd goes still. Then a voice breaks the silence from the back. "We believe in you, Marcus!" Applause bursts forth. Tasha stands near the back, quietly wiping her tears. Children move closer to the stage. Oprah places her hand gently on Marcus's shoulder. Then, a little girl walks up with a small painting. It shows the corner of a church and a man kneeling alone in front of it. Across the top, bold letters read, "Some promises are kept, because some people are reborn." As the sun begins to set, the shelter slowly empties. Marcus stands at the back door, looking up at the sky. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out his mother's letter one last time. But this time, he doesn't fold it away. He pins it gently to the shelter's memory wall, and underneath it, he leaves a final note. "This isn't just my story. It belongs to everyone who made a promise and needs one more chance." And that day, not just a shelter was completed. A man was, too.